Hello and welcome back to Pandemic Playground with Dave. Alright, so it's time for a new time-lapse series, and that is going to be building a space elevator again, but with hover engines this time. And of course, the space elevator is going to link to what's behind us, which is the moon. So let's get started. right, so as I mentioned in my hover engine space elevator experiment, I am going to do a little bit of the context at the end of each video, end of the time lapse, so we can explain a few things. So of course, we are starting this series out as a generic start, where we have our respawn pod and pretty much build from there, basically. But let's just talk about the server settings really quickly. All right, so traditionally, I show you guys what I have set up for the game save, and here it is. So this is our Space Elevator V2, Space Elevator with hover engines. It's on survival and online, so I can have my second account record the time lapse. And of course, mods. I did add a very few amount of mods, which is build vision, camera panning, easy inventory, and hover engines. So that's all there is to the mod itself. Please don't get on me with the easy inventory and build planner situation. I like to use it both together, so there's that. All right, next thing is advanced options. The only thing that really changed is character inventory size, although it's a little cheesy by doing ×10 because your backpack shouldn't be able to carry that much. It'll be not as an enjoyable experience running back and forth constantly to build stuff, so that's why I do it that way. I mean, it's possible, but it just doesn't really make for fun time, especially when you're making a time lapse. Next is day duration. I changed it to 3 hours instead of 2, so we get more day and night, but hopefully more day than night in most cases. I mean, I preferably like to have it all in day so you guys can see exactly what it looks like, because when it gets dark, it's hard to see, as you saw at one point where I had to put spotlights everywhere. When I say everywhere, I just meant my rover. And that way you can see what's going on, basically. Other than that, I changed like auto healing to remove. I ticked on enable spectator, ticked on in-game scripts. More importantly, took off progression. Didn't want to deal with that at the time. And took out weather because that just makes it more of an annoyance than anything for a time lapse where you can't see anything. So that's the server settings or game save settings. And let's get back to it. All right, so once again, it is pretty much building everything from scratch because this is the regular survival settings and everything like that. So that is why we first started with our respawn pod and quickly changed it into a little bit of a truck here. So it's been a while since I actually used this tool, the digging tool from our other series. So gotta say, missed drilling. It honestly felt like the month of December, if you know what I mean. All right, so yeah, that's the first thing we did. Just change up the whole entire rover and kept the battery. So I stripped the whole entire respawn pod so that we could keep the battery, keep its power, although we probably didn't need to. But did it anyways. Used the new cab cockpit right over here, which made it pretty interesting as an internal view, and also did a little bit of time lapsing out of it as well. But yeah, this rover is basically the cab. We have ore detectors, antenna. We did sneak in a little bit of a gyroscope right down there in the middle. We kept the original battery. We kind of routed some plumbing from down here to the bottom of the cab. So there's 2 small ports on the cab directly behind these 2 right here. So I hit a few conveyor junctions and tubes just to get back here and connect into the O2H2 system and then a medium cargo container to connector. Originally, this is where I put the survival kit, and I had this reversed a little bit and added a converter so that connects the opposite way in the big port for the survival kits in the back. But ultimately, we got rid of that because we built our house or our base. So of course, today was establishing our first rover or first vehicle and then our base itself. So that's basically what we've done. I don't know what happened. At one point, the turbine right here was actually this turbine, the twin, what's this one called? The twin bladed turbine. But at one point in time, the performance of the turbine was really, really poor. So when I went in here and I looked at the wind turbine, it didn't say optimal, it said poor at one point. So I'm not sure why it did do that. So I swapped it over and put the side one as a twin turbo. And that kind of worked out a little bit better. It may be because this right here, this piston is kind of the issue for it. I don't know, maybe. I don't see why it would be. But yeah, it's just that it was poor, so I had to change that up because we were losing power and everything like that. But we spent a lot of time on the Rover right there, and then we spent a lot of time in this base right over here. So it could be an airtight base. I haven't tried it yet, but we try to put as much as we can from the newest update with all the inset pieces and everything like that. So of course we moved the survival kit right over here, and I could have put it right next to this, but I didn't. So we'll figure that out later down the line. We have a cargo container here that we can access in the base, which is perfect. Ooh, I forgot to put these back in here for the iron and everything. But yeah, we have a bed here, which is the one that you sleep sideways. And then right behind this is everything else. So we have our traditional shower and bathroom setup. And then we have buttons set up just for looks. A bookcase right there, entertainment system. And then we have a kitchen and also a sink, which is basically a kitchen and kitchen, but just flip-flop the opposite way so it shows the one I want in front. Although I could just take this off and it would probably show it right over there. But we'll leave it as that. So yeah, there's an airtight system, and I realized I flip-flopped the windows backwards, so it's extremely dark in the inside, but really visible on the outside. So I gotta fix that as well. But I did also use the Rover to venture out to get and collect ores. And ores would have been specifically to get iron and find any other ores that are out there. So I found a good spot that had both iron and cobalt. So I got to get back there to get that all set up. And I did realize and forgot about ice. So I need to get some ice somewhere as well. So we need to build some kind of vehicle or maybe even a ship to start drilling for materials, or we create some kind of separate base. I think right now we'll build a specific vehicle for now to gather ores because it's quite a far distance to get it. So we are here. Our iron and cobalt is there, which is 4 kilometers away. So eventually, once we have enough materials, we can establish a base over there and collect. Well, actually, we still have to move it from base to base. I'm not going to build a tube 4 kilometers away right this moment. But eventually, probably, we will do that. But yeah, there's really no good resources of ore around here. So that's the biggest problem. I mean, I should have checked here. It looks like there might be some ores here. Okay. I don't know why I missed this spot, but I just flew up just a tiny bit and I see those little white dots. So that's just the ore itself. So that's iron there. What's over here? This is nothing. Interesting. I thought it would have been some kind of ore here. Maybe I'll bring the truck here next time around just to see what it is. And we could collect that from there. But ultimately, the space elevator is V2, and it's pretty much going to be all based out of the hover engines. I'm not sure exactly what kind of pillar I want to do, a 3x3 or some kind of combination to have it all surrounded by the hover engines. But I ultimately need it to connect to the moon, at least close to it. That would be nice. I think I'm in a decent spot to do that, although this is a bit of a hilly spot. So sometimes the home does look a little tilted, but I think I got it perfectly fine. So we need to raise this up probably up to here, and then we can go straight. But I think someone left a comment and mentioned that we could use some kind of modded laser antenna so we can see what that connection is going to look like. And I am going to use that, but that's not going to come up until a few more episodes once we get established with our base. So we want to make sure we have all the materials so then we can start building the space elevator. We can't just start it now because it's just going to be a framework and we can't do anything with it. So trying to get established first and then we can get going. But other than that, I think that's it. Hope you guys enjoy this series. I hope you guys continue to watch it. And if you do, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.